신보석 2.
세종과학기지로 떠납니다.
Don't bring forgiveness, and I'm gonna hunt you down.
Welcome to map number 4, King Sejong Station, for this first best of 5 in the semifinals. Up in the top left, in the purple, he needs to win 2 in a row. It is Stats.
Feeling the pressure against this guy. 1 game away from being the first foreigner to go to a Korean StarCraft 2 finals. Will be the second ever to be in a finals, including Brood War, since GER in 2000. Crazy stuff here, and we'll see if he can pull it off. This next game will be, his first step of many. We'll then have to face either TY or Trap in that grand finals. And 2 gates apiece here. Again, we're not seeing anything crazy. Going to be a normal opening from these 2 players. The question is, what is the tech going to be? We've seen Phoenixes dominate on this map multiple times. Already even in this tournament 1 time. In a Protoss versus Protoss, and control of the air can lead to control of the ground as well. You get a faster third base, you can threaten with your Phoenixes, you can shut down more prisms, and later on you can shut down disruptors. Stats is famous for his Phoenix play, mostly in PvZ, but in PvP he's quite good at it as well. And even though it's not necessarily the strongest build or the most standard build he could choose here against Neeb, I feel like playing the standard build is not working out for him so far, and it's time to switch it up. And this is one of the best maps in the pool for Phoenixes, if not the best. So that's what I'm feeling here. If Stats is going to do some sort of different tech, would not be really, I would not be a fan if he just went for Oracles again, because I don't feel like that's really working out for him. Even though he's killing Adepts with it, Neeb is happy with that.
Neeb is fine with it, he takes a bit of damage, but the commitment from Stats going into that tech is huge, as you were saying. And it's really interesting because Neeb is 1 game away from going to this finals, and he's going to have to play probably a PvT. I think a lot of people are favoring TY on the other side of the bracket over Trap. Trap's PvP is quite fantastic, and so is Neeb's. And I'm sure Neeb is going to be cheering for Trap. I'm sure he wants to face Trap, because if you can defeat Stats in a best of 5, you can probably defeat Trap as well. But in a PvT against one of the, one of the guys who's trying to make a name for himself as one of the better TVP players, is he going to be able to do the nearly impossible, or the very hard at least?
I mean, this has been one of the most incredible runs for a foreigner ever. For the time period, obviously, nothing comes close in Korean StarCraft 2. In the old, it's very comparable to the run of Jinro to the round of 4 in GSL in terms of difficulty and contemporary skill levels. But I mean, the achievement here for Neeb, what he's accomplished already, is legendary. People will write stories about it on forums for years and decades to come, what we've witnessed here in this tournament. And he's not done yet. It's not over yet. People are still going to be writing what happens after this.
Yeah.
As we are, 1 game away from him going on, and even if he loses this one, he's got 1 more shot.
And this makes BlizzCon even more interesting. This is why I love KeSPA Cup, because we brought these foreign players over. We gave them some qualifying spots, and Neeb is making a name for himself as a guy who can defeat top-level Koreans. So this is a guy that's actually challenging not only the finals of KeSPA Cup, but getting to, round of 4 finals of BlizzCon as well. And it could write, a huge story for himself, as you were saying. He does need to defeat Stats first. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
Sure. And both players are going to go Twilight Council. Stats is going to move away from the Oracle play and go into Blink. We see Prisms on the way for both players as well. Blink a little bit faster for Neeb, and it's a pretty dead even game right now. Both players using Hallucinations to scout. Neeb does drop first. I mean, you can see his Prism is already on the way before Stats is finished, but Stats has so many units here. Unless he goes into the main, he won't be lucky.
Nice scout.
See, Neeb pre-scouted with this Hallucination to see if this was a safe path, but unfortunately Stats scouted right afterwards, so what he had
Nice.
already scouted was not correct, basically, and he knows he's going to make an adjustment.
Really respect shown here from Neeb. He's actually going to
Oh,
commit,
he's targeting all the
actually.
sentries, in fact.
He gets one and he picks up all 4. All of them are alive after sniping a sentry. A very small pickoff, but it can make a big dent a little bit later on. But
And
incredible control here from Neeb.
Let's not forget that one of these Adepts is low, and these Stalkers are about to have Blink. He's going to commit again here to get the second sentry, targets it down, and gets it!
Unbelievable!
Oh my god! What am I watching?
He knew that it only required 1 more hit, and he picked up 3 of them to make sure that he saved them and kept 1 more to get that last hit. On the other side of the map, Stats is not getting the same amount of damage. 3 sentries.
And he
pick
didn't
up, that's
lose.
300 gas. That is so much.
This also means no more scouting, period. He cannot scout without observers, and he's going to need those to find any sort of information. Picks off 2 more probes here.
Neeb is playing so confidently.
He's playing like a god.
He's just he has so much confidence in his play, you know? He gets that very small lead early on in terms of the Adept health, which we didn't really, talk about, but he won the small micro battle in the beginning. And I think after winning those 2 games, he knows he can do this. And play like this is just what you see out of guys who become GSL champions, SSL champions, KeSPA Cup champions, perhaps.
He's going to scout this Bay as well with this pressure. Stats will not get the kill.
Wow.
And in fact, he's move clicking because he has vision onto that Warp Prism while losing more probes at home. 4 of them going down. It looks like might get 5. Nope, just the 4. Meanwhile, this gets spotted here by this observer. Neeb has his nexus up just slightly ahead as well. And we'll snipe
Snipes
this
an observer.
Yep.
He is just totally outplaying Stats in every facet. I don't want to overdo the hype for this guy, but he is playing so well.
If anyone thinks he's not getting outplayed, they might be a Stats fanboy, might be blinded by their favoritism themselves, because he is getting outplayed right now. He also lost vision. Neeb kills these sentries, which denies so much vision because he can't use hallucinations. He sniped an observer. The only observer that Stats has is this one right here. So right now he's totally blind. He doesn't know how many units there are or where they are. And he's still going to take the risk to come across the map while he's being scouted over and over again by these hallucinations. This observer as well. He can't commit to this fight. Neeb has full vision control. And he comes over here trying to find damage. He's assuming there are probes here, but because he doesn't have vision, he doesn't even know there's no probes here.
Yeah, I mean, Neeb has enough probes to saturate that nexus, and I don't know if it was on purpose, but he doesn't have those probes in place to get killed by the Adepts. Adepts are just going to be picked up, and Neeb is going to respond. Looks like he wants to do a bit of harass himself with the Warp Prism on the left side of the map.
All right, surrounding and trapping this Prism. Stats is moving across the map. This is such a small amount of Stalkers. Neeb has a Disruptor.
There's no way he can commit here. There's two Immortals. He's in position. He's got the Disruptor too. He has Blink of his own.
Yeah, Neeb could actually commit to a fight, and he will! He blinks forward here! Stats with a huge mistake to commit to this location. He's going to lose a lot of hit points on these units. Don't forget, Neeb just made a huge round of gateways, and he has his third base saturated, so he can commit to an attack. I think the safer option, while he knows this Prism is still out there, is to shut down this harass before he does anything.
This is crazy. I mean, he defends the attack, and he's in position now to defend the harass. He's splitting his army so well, as well, to defend against the attack from the front, but also defend against the Warp Prism. He is taking 0 damage. Will he be able to do some damage with this Warp Prism? That's the question.
Neeb has Glaives. Stats does not. Stats is not committing to Stalkers, or rather to Adepts of any kind. He's got 20 Stalkers, though. He really wants to use mobility. He also has Warp Prism speed, something I really touched on. He got the Gravitic Drive, which is going to allow him to do a little bit more pressure. I think he's just going to try to avoid Neeb's powerful high-tech army for the time being, try to catch up with Disruptors. He will catch this Prism, finally! This is shut down. Neeb going to target down some probes, and Stats will eventually clear this up. Cannon even doing some work there. 3 probes do go down, not the most significant, but now Stats knows there's no Prism to attack him, so maybe he can actually start using his army a little bit more aggressively, as he knows Neeb's is down. He still has a Prism of his own to the south, which could allow him Warp Ends to continue this pressure. He has a very large army, and if Disruptor shots don't go off, if the Disruptor shots don't go off, then, he has the better army, arguably.
Yeah. It's really going to come down to the Disruptors, as it always does in this kind of fight. Neeb going to send out 1 to push the army back. Nice blink there. Okay,
he has used his blink now. He cannot blink to retreat. Okay, just barely had blink.
But he blinks now. Going to take 5 Stalkers in damage. Neeb, though, losing his own Disruptor. Trying to go for the Disruptors here. Going to get 1.
Yep. Trades one there. Actually, doesn't even lose his own. Luke gets 3 more. Dodges.
Neeb is out-controlling him once again.
He blinks forward. He will need to split here. Oh! Way better splits than we saw from Stats. And now he's moving on. He's moving up here. He wants to attack. He does not want to allow Stats his fourth. Stats with his Warp Prism comes over here. There is a Photon Cannon. Actually, 2 Photon Cannons. Oh, Neeb takes a huge hit there. He will need to deal with this Prism currently as well.
Looks like he was looking at the Prism at that time. You know, we saw this out of patience, actually. Part of the reason why he lost is that his control against Disruptors was not so good, and part of the reason was because his attention was diverted, right? It was somewhere else. We saw that out of Neeb here. We do have, you know, the Gravitic Drive, as you were saying, is going to be good for the observers to get in position and snipe the opponent's observers. I would love to see how many observers are on the map because the Dark Shrine is out here for Stats. And if he can snipe observers, he can get those Dark Templar into position.
Ooh, I like this tag here. And if he doesn't kill the Oracle, the Dark Templar could always be scouted by that as well. Okay, oh, just barely misses that Disruptor there. Close call.
Very close.
+2 going to be done first for Stats again. He's kind of favoring his ground-based army, not his tech army, you know, in most of these games. Ooh.
Nice pick off there.
Oh, there's another Stalker there. And actually, Neeb doing an aggressive blink, loses just 1 Stalker for it, nearly kills a Disruptor. Would have been worth it if he got it.
He's controlling it so confidently. You know, the blinks forward, you can tell that he knows the exact distance, right, for the Stalkers to be in position, the Disruptor, how close it needs to be to get in position with the Purification Novas to hit the enemy Disruptors or Stalkers. It's really just a real treat to watch.
Stalkers on the low ground trying to fight Neeb's army as well, but Neeb just has a larger one. Okay, now he's going to start doing more of what I expected him to do.
Split his army.
Yeah,
the Disruptors are not with these Stalkers, and Neeb is on the chase.
He wants to run away here and create a flank. I actually like what Stats is doing here. He just needs to make sure he dodges shots. Very smart move here by Stats, trying to get a flank, trying to find a way to fight this army with his smaller one. But Neeb is not falling for it. He has this Oracle getting vision.
That Oracle is so key. Stats, we haven't seen that out of him, actually, in this entire series. To go for an Oracle in this kind of situation. Nice hit there. Gets a Disruptor. Trading 1 for 1.
Yep. And could have gotten a lot more, though. Neeb, so confident with his control. Gonna knock these rocks down. Not going to allow those to trap him.
You see Stats, he's making an Oracle, and now he's like, hey, that's kind of a good idea. Maybe I should do that too.
He's also going to come over here and do this big warp in right now of Adepts, but cancels actually, and we'll lose the Prism. Now Neeb will never have to worry about this harass. Blinks away. Could actually just start hitting the natural. This allows Stats to open up for a base trade, though. Remember, he has DTs. We may see this.
Yeah, could happen. I don't think Neeb would go for it, though. You know, maybe he doesn't know about the DT tag, but at this point in time, I think with his bigger army, he just wants to fight straight up.
Stats does not have a single observer on the map as well, so sniping Neeb's observers is currently impossible for him. That good dodge here. Ooh, Neeb gonna have to back away.
He's barely gonna get away. And you can see Neeb, he wants to open up these rocks. Is he gonna commit to the high ground?
He is, he's coming up.
Here we go, Disruptor shots go out first, and Neeb losing a lot there, actually. Yes. Stats with a great hit.
So risky to go up this ramp. It looks like Stats loses one of his own Disruptors as well. He's got 2 Prisms here, which are going to help defend as well. If you can keep enough Prisms, you can just kind of keep dodging these shots with that Prism alone. I think Neeb is a little bit of an overextension there. Will back away now, though. We'll have to deal with these Blink Stalkers. He's also taking a 5th base to the left side of the map.
Great micro here from Stats, multitasking, you know, coming in with these small Stalker groups, trying to, you know, do a bit of harass damage. Neeb with a great response, very fast, but you can see Stats, he gets into position and immediately, you know, shift clicks the 2 cannons and immediately looks away. He's really on point right now, as is Neeb. We are seeing that Tempest transition, as you were saying, 3 against 3. It looks like maybe this game on King Sejong Station is going to be the one where we go to Supreme late game.
Oh, that hit is, again, really solid here for Stats. It's hard for these, you know, low-range units that shoot out a ball to really get into position up this ramp without being at the front. And when that happens, of course, they are at their most vulnerable. 2 stasis wards here, actually, with Photon Overcharge and Photon Cannons going to help slow down these Stalkers. And Neeb is just really struggling to finish Stats off, but he's so ahead. Oh! Loses that Disruptor right before the Purification Nova goes off. This is actually such a crazy game right now. Okay, gonna catch these Stalkers finally. They've been the bane of his existence. They do escape for the most part. Stats coming in with some disruptors. Neeb sees them, picks them off. He loses one of his own.
Oh, that blink was last second. Gets away with the Stalkers, does Stats.
Oh, gonna kill that Oracle too, which means no more spotting for Neeb's army, no more vision. Coming over here with these Stalkers now, hitting this 4th base, or rather 5th base. Stats is not gonna be able to hold this. Neeb, on the other hand, will not have his 5th up either, but he has a much larger bank, and he has the faster tech to Tempests.
That he does. It's really going to come down to the amount. Stats actually making more ahead of time.
Yeah,
6-3.
Even though Neeb transitioned first, Stats just has the larger
Stats
count.
committed more.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like maybe Neeb was maxed out and he couldn't make them because he's winning the ground fight, funnily enough. But it's really working out for him here.
Yeah, I think you're exactly correct. Ooh, the Stalkers. No, not all of them able to blink away there. Continues to just use Revelation to reveal this army. Stats is starting to really work on the economy of Neeb, and as you said, because of the max, he has a larger Tempest count, but we'll see how long that lasts. Oh, nice 2 more disruptors go down.
Nice hit there from Stats. Not going to lose any of his Stalkers, and at the end of the day, you know, the question remains, do you care about those probes or not? Essentially what you want is the gas mining.
Yeah.
You know, both these players, they did have these big banks and minerals, but now the gas is really the important part.
Neeb also now has a larger Stalker count, and he has the more mobile army, and that's why Stats can't hold his 5th, but Neeb can. DT's over here spotted by this cannon. He's going to go ahead and target this down. This is going to become a problem, okay? The later the game goes, DTs are powerful. You know, this is like Brood War PvP, super late game. Mass DTs or mass zealots. You know, you need detection for them. You need photon cans at your bases, and if you don't have that,
he empowers. He empowers the. Wow, this is really interesting. You can't kill those because they're stasis, but they're at least stationary for now. But what I was trying to say is that he empowers the Tempest production, which is really important. It's more than anything else. Like the probes, they're kind of, you know, a side thing. They don't. It's not that big of a deal.
Stasis Ward's here just buying Neeb a lot of time for these movements. He's just out-controlling Stats, or, you know, out-controlling the map with this mobile army. Now that he's committed to the larger Stalker count, the Stasis Wards give him so much vision, he doesn't even have to have supply in Observers, because these Wards are... Look, watch this value here. Oh, slowing it down. There's a second one, too. And this buys time for him to use his overcharge. There's the second Stasis stopping another Zealot. And his army over here is uncontested. Is he going to defend with Tempest? That's not going to work out too well.
Unpowers the Robotics Bay, not going to be a big deal. Killing the Robotics Bay would be really nice.
Yeah, it's going to stop, obviously, Disruptor production temporarily. I don't know if we'll see any more Disruptor production as Stats in this game as a result, since he's simply committing all of his resources to Tempest. And he's never able to hold a 5th base. Now Neeb, if he puts, you know, probes in mining, will have 6 gas probes to Stats' 0. He is remaking that 5th base to the top right, but he needs to actually hold on to it. Ooh, look at this, going to target down an Immortal. It's going to cost him quite a few Stalkers. It's going to commit to a Tempest as well. Now this will basically remove a lot of Stalkers off the map here, and a DT will eventually clean this up, but this means Neeb can max with better units, but he also loses his mobile harass force.
That he does, but I feel like it was the right decision. You know, he cuts down the Tempest number of Stats by 1. He takes a decent trade on the Immortal as well, making him have a better ground army. And I mean, when it comes to it, you know, Disruptor versus Disruptor is really about the control with the Stalkers as well. But with Tempest, you need more Tempest, basically. If you have more Tempest, you win.
Tempest versus Tempest, you have more Tempest, you win mostly. Also, the second most important thing is whether you can see the Tempest and shoot them, which is why these Oracles and Observers are going to be important. Let's not forget, Stats has Observer speed. He's had that since the beginning of the game, so that's going to be quite helpful. And he can get in there and try to snipe these Stasis Wards once he has vision. Going to go for a Stalker here instead. This game is going to get crazy. I mean, Stats said earlier we'd see games with Tempest and Carriers, and here we are already in Game 4 seeing that. Another snipe there on, I think it was an Oracle. Yeah, and he's got this mobile harass force over here trying to find his way into the main base. Don't think this will work. The Mothership was canceled, though, either to hide it or to help defend. I'm not entirely sure which, because we didn't see that on camera, I believe, but probably just so he could use overcharge. You can't use that while you're transforming. This Prism, actually, will he get it away? Nope, doesn't look like it. Oh, just had a vision right on that high ground.
Very close, and Stats is continuously committing to this kind of mobile harass force, as you called it, but it's not doing all that much damage. I guess he's canceling the mothership over and over. That's the biggest thing out of anything.
It's going to start getting value here, though, and Neeb is not in a position to defend this. In fact, he will start, losing this Nexus, in fact, and his Robo and some of his Stargates. Neeb is stopping this base over here, but this base isn't really mining. Stats is really starting to get a lot of value with this harass, even though he has the smaller army. Ooh, this is very expensive. What's going to happen here? Oh my god, Neeb targeting every time the one that is firing. Still going to lose all these Stalkers. The base survives. And Stats is finding his way back into this game through harass. And looks like this will finally be cleaned up. We don't have a full shot of what he lost, whether he lost the Robo or not. I think the Robo survived. But 19 Tempest to 15.
Stats has a lot of empty supply. Stats is doing the same thing that Neeb is doing, throwing away a lot of these, lower tech units, the Stalkers, the Disruptors, because he knows this is going to supreme late game. I think it's really, as I said before, going to come down to the Tempest number, the upgrades as well. It looks like Stats just finished +1 shields. Not sure about Neeb, where he's at in terms of those upgrades.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Ooh, Disruptor on the defense here. Going to pick up a few more Zealots. I think he really is finally going to let that Mothership finish. That will also be very useful in the defense, obviously, because it will cloak the buildings. And so in order for these Zealots to find damage, they will have to have detection. So as you guys can see here, it's the first time seeing a Mothership. Anything underneath will be cloaked and will require detection. The Mothership itself will not. This one Stalker is stopping so much mining. Stats has a large, Tempest force as well, but again, the number, the 5 advantage, 22 to 17 is so huge. As you were saying, that's really the most important thing. Vision being second. Finally, he will go over and deal with Stalker. And as you can see, he does not have the shields. We just checked that there. So that's one upgrade in ground ahead Stats has. Also for air. So that is important. Really funny situation we're watching here. This Prism should be cornered and killed. I misspoke earlier saying he got Prism speed. It was actually Observer speed he got. +2 air coming out for Neeb here already, and is finally starting to research those shields.
I'm so happy, actually, that Neeb did not remake any probes. Stats, I wouldn't actually blame him if he started killing his own probes.
He probably will.
As we said, it really just comes down to the number and the positioning. Uh-oh. Gonna snipe one Tempest here. It's 22 to 17.
This base gets sniped with no cancel, though, and Neeb is running low on the minerals right now, so that's actually quite a nice snipe. Neeb's Dark Shrine finally finishes here as well, which means that he will, in fact, be able to do the similar type of harass. It's something that Stats doesn't know about yet. But Neeb is so low on gas right now that even making 1 DT is basically a huge commitment. All right, they both do now have the +1 shields. Neeb is first to get +2 for those shields, but every other upgrade is even, of course, minus the Observer speed that Stats has. All right, we're going to start to see this fight happen here.
Oh, the Mothership gets killed!
And now he's starting to work on this Nexus.
Neeb is about to have +3 weapons, but Stats does have +1 armor for his air units, so keep that in mind. It's basically going to be even here.
Okay, +3 done. Neeb actually not dealing with his Stalker. He's more focused on his Tempest control. In his defense, that's definitely the more important thing right now. Oh, tries to recall. The animation is canceled. Leaving that alone for just 1 second costs him big. The Stalker actually with 3 kills. Again, it's not the most significant thing in the world. Killing bases is much more important. Look, Stats is even aggressively taking the third base over there. That's kind of crazy. He's got some DTs in the mix here.
There is a Observer in position, though.
Yep, at least for the time being. Kills the DTs before it can actually get past there. All right, well, this is starting to look like, now that he's cleaned up this base, or it looks like he will clean up this base. He's not paying attention here, but okay, once the Zealots come in, he should clean up this base. Neeb is in a better spot. Even though he lost his Mothership, he has the better Tempest count.
He's going to send his Tempest to deal with the Zealots, send the big guys over here.
Stats is not capitalizing on this move either. Okay, all the Zealots come over by 1 Disruptor shot. Okay, Stats sends a DT over here, but his army is so slow. Even though he's coming over to the left side, I think Neeb should be able to respond to this move out here. Disruptors on the ground 6 to 4 in Neeb's favor as well. That's something that could come into play if we have a Tempest wipe here. It's now dead even, Tempest count, 23 to 23. The better upgrades in attack to Neeb, so he has more potential to snipe units like the Mothership and Tempest from far, and also Nexi. This is actually crazy. Okay, so like I said, he can't really come over here and commit. Losing that Observer is kind of huge. He does not want to lose this Oracle either.
We haven't seen a game quite like this in a while in Korea. We don't often see these super late game kind of games here in PvP.
Okay, here we go. He's going to start sniping on some of these Tempests. I mean, this is going to be the beginning of the end of this game. Moves like this. Mothership is done for Neeb, but it's somewhere else. Stats' Mothership is more near this relevant fight. Not entirely sure where the Mothership of Neeb is. I think our observer is looking for it. Meanwhile, this harass over here.
It's over by that 5th base.
Cannons come up just in time. That was a close call. Okay, so that's going to be helpful at also keeping that base cloaked.
Yep, last base on the map is taken.
All right, we're going all the way. Going to start sniping cannons. This will buy Neeb time to get over here. The position, though, for Stats is good. It's hard to snipe his Tempest one by one, whereas Neeb's...
Where's the Mothership?
Needs to stack him up.
It's coming on over.
Yeah, it's coming over. Okay, he needs vision. He lost his observer. He has to leave. Okay, there's a big tag, and here comes his own Mothership. This could actually be what decides this game. He tries to target this base down.
He's the tag here. Neeb needs that tag. He's going to get it.
Oh, misses.
He actually missed it.
Oh, but he lost vision. He lost vision on the Nexus. Okay, it gets decloaked. He will kill the Nexus. Neeb can evacuate. He has the base at the 3 o'clock. Neither player is confident enough to take a fight. The Tempest count is somewhat ambiguous. When you look at this cloud, you can't really tell if you have enough to straight up fight. Also, the overkill that Tempest can have can really lose you the fight, so individually targeting is something you can do, but it's very difficult to do.
Yeah, maybe take half your Tempest and target one and the other half on another one. That's about as much as you can do.
Yeah.
But who am I kidding? These guys are gods with their control.
It's still just very difficult to pull off. Vision is more important.
Neeb is missing these tags. He tabbed on the left side.
Well, I think he's predicting the Stats' movement, and Stats is kind of countering him a little bit as well in that. But regardless, he doesn't get the hits off, you know? And Stats is evening up the upgrades. He's going to get his +3 here shortly.
Ooh, nice cloak there. Saves that Oracle. Oracle's very important at this point. And we see Stats with a probe lead, and is that going to be good at the end of it all? Probably not. He is getting ahead, though, in the upgrades, at least. Getting some picks here.
Oh, going for that Mothership. Not quite able to get it. Will he get the Oracle? He will. Stats has a much larger bank, by the way, and he's throwing those probes away, as you mentioned, to get a larger army. Prism going to get sniped, which is pretty nice. Stats unable to capitalize on this opportunity with his army. So when I say that, I mean, like, sometimes when you see the Tempest army chase something, it allows Stats to get into a position while this army is away to, say, snipe the center base. It's much easier said than done, especially with a slow army like this. But if a big move like this goes to the right side with Neeb's also slow army, potentially Stats could come in and snipe a Nexus. So these are the kind of moves to look out for. Now, Stats was down slightly in Tempest.
Yeah, if I were Neeb, when I see those probes coming in, I would try to go for the fight right away. Because you have to know that you're up in terms of Tempest at that point. But either way, he kills all the probes and is not going to go for the fight. It looks like Stats aggressively wants to take the fight.
These Zealots over here are going to really start taking out this Nexus. Stats with a big move here. Let's see how Neeb responds. One Stalker is not going to be enough of a response. And this kind of means that with Stats' control of the top right, as well as the left side base, he has the better economy, he has the better bank already, but he's going to have much more gas, which means that he can actually trade Tempest 1-for-1 over and over again, try to get a better trade. Ooh, even going to kill this Disruptor for free. Ooh, that Disruptor shot doesn't even go off.
There it goes. More probes for Neeb. He's already down to 31. Maybe he wants to get rid of more, but you need to have some probes.
He needs gas in order to break these Tempests, and Stats has the better gas bank because he has twice the gas mining. We had the income tab shown earlier. We'd love to see it again, as before it was dead even, but now it's definitely significantly in favor of Stats. His middle base is mined out, but he's even going to take Neeb's base on the left side now. He's going to get even more gas mining. Neeb, the pressure is on here to really make some tough decisions.
Wants to get the hits here. He gets this tag, and is this going to be the fight? Trying to move in now. That Mothership, and immediately goes down. Neeb has still got his.
Yep, so he has Cloak, whereas Stats does not. Stats has 3 observers, though.
Stalkers, they're really going to help here against the Tempest. It doesn't seem like much, but 20, 30 Tempest hitting 1 Stalker is not what you want. Nice targeting here, though, from Neeb.
Okay, Neeb is targeting really, really well, actually splitting his shots as best as possible here. A ground warping of Zealots has pushed the Stalkers back. It's an even trades on these Tempests so far. Zealots actually going to overwhelm here on the ground. He cannot move back into his cannons. Looks like it's really important. Neeb actually has a slight lead right now.
He moved commands there for just a bit, and that's very important. Stats, he doesn't seem confident. He's going to back off.
Yep, Stats is going to back off. Every move command means you lose so much DPS. and he backs off. Neeb takes that one Tempest lead.
Stalker's on the ground.
On the Stalkers.
The Stalkers.
Now, if he turns and fights, that means Neeb gets shots off.
He kills a Tempest, only losing 2 Stalkers for it.
But Neeb needs to do more. He needs to kill a base here because he's still down in economy.
He's on the chase. It's 14-11, and Stats still is not confident to take this fight.
He's just going to chase him all the way home. He's going all the way, Valdez. Good kiting here by Stats.
Stats is not even fighting. He just keeps running. He's just losing Tempest after Tempest, and this going to be the end of the game. Stats
like
on the run.
Neeb just with the better control, the better movements here when it comes down to the fight. Stats losing all control here, and this will probably be a game. He has nothing left. Nothing left.
Tempest after Tempest goes down. Stalkers are not going to be the answer against this many Tempests. 13-4 now. Has Neeb done it?
Neeb is targeting the Tempest with half of his Tempest while the rest clean up the Stalkers with Zealots, and that will be game. GG Neeb!
He's done it!
Finals! He's done what no foreigner has ever done in StarCraft 2 history in Korean leagues. He will move on 3-1 to the grand finals. Stats in every way in this series.
Outplayed him, man. He lost that, Neeb lost that first one, but 3 in a row, and Stats can't even seem to believe it. Neeb, unbelievable play here, and he will be going to that grand finals. Stats, a player that everybody was touting as one of the favorites to get to the finals. Nobody was looking at Neeb, and here he is.
Crazy, crazy results. I mean, 4-0 in groups, moving into a 3-2 narrow victory to get to the round of 4. Stats takes the lead in game 1. It starts to look a little bit scary for American Protoss, but he wins 3 back-to-back, outplaying Stats really in 3 different types of games.
There you have it, guys. Neeb is going into the finals, but we have to get through our other semifinal matchup, Trap versus TY. We'll jump into that after a short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Next.